Good afternoon. Tim Haefke here today on Monday, October 20th to do this Mr. Top Step update. And I'm going to just bring you back and quickly show you what we were looking at last week, Danny Riley and myself. And it's just to bring you up to snuff on that ascending channel trend that we were looking for last week, that what this future, the S&P, was looking for. So if we can get our first chart up here, here's this channel trend. And it comes all the way back down from this low in 2011, and then we found the high in 2013, okay? And all this time, we were looking for it to reach the peak on tops. All last year, as I explained last week, we were peaking up on a weekly channel trend. We found it, and then lo and behold, last week, they targeted on the weekly channel trend from 1809.60 on a weekly to 1801.5 on a daily. And that's what we were shooting for last week. Well, lo and behold, what happens? The pit comes in and hits the low of 14, and the mini finds the low of 13. And as the week progressed, that weekly trend line was always at 1809.60, but on a daily basis, it would rise. So lo and behold, what happens this week? We put the channel trend back up there, and now we come down, and our target this week on the weekly says 1814.40. Go figure, we made that low last week. But what this is suggesting, and excuse me, I have to give you to the daily. Now, would you bring the daily up, please? This is how close we got to the daily last week. And now this daily went from the 01.5, and it's up to 1803.30. So all I'm saying is this suggests that this channel might be getting a look at, especially when the weekly came up to that objective of 14, pit 13 even low. Now, we're going to go and show you on a Fibonacci retracement what this is looking for on a weekly and on a lead month. Let's go to the first chart here. Now, no, let's go to the third chart, excuse me. Now, when we made this contract all-time high, when September was there, was 22.5, and we came all the way down to this 13 low. Well, if you look, our 3A2 Fibonacci says it's all about finding the 1893 level, and when I scrutinized the charts, it was all about 1893.75. So all week last week, our objective for a first test of major resistance was going to be at the 1893.75 level. But if you look on the continuation, it's at 1893 even, all right? So with that in mind, we hit there last Friday. We hit that level, and we got so close to 1892.75 in the mini. And I go, boy, we were offering the 1893 halves, 1893.75s, and we were left empty-handed. So what do you think happened over the weekend? They came back up and readjusted this, and now the weekend high is 1893 half. Look, if they don't see take this information of the daily fib and the weekly fib and come back and retest that channel trend I was looking at, they could find stops the next time at this 1893.75 level, and then 50% of this move would take our next objective to, this is where I have to look, up to 1917.75. Now, if we look next, the last chart on a daily basis, when we had the daily basis and we made a high of 14.5 for the D's contract, that's the D's contract high of the year. Lead month all time is 22.5 when SEP was there. And if you look at the Fibonacci retracements for the D's contract, they were looking for a D's objective of 1890 even. Well, the D's contract got up to 275 on Friday. It's up to 93.5, and it's finding the continuation. So with this in mind, it's all about finding a continuation trend. So if they decide to go, we know on a continuation, half the move now from this low they made is 1917.75, and half the move is 1913.75 on a daily basis, and the D's contract. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the most important key. If they fail to find those levels and get above those to find the 50% retracements, they get back under these last lows and they breach that channel trends. Let's go back to the channel trends. Go back to chart 1, and they come through here on the weekly and to the daily. Now we go back to the Fibonacci retracements. Since they held the 3A2, Mr. Fibonacci says what's it all about. If you ever knew anything about Mr. Fibonacci, he says they hold the 3A2. What's the 3A2 extension lower? On the all-time high, it's showing 1733. On the daily Ds, it's 1736. I'm going to leave it at that. Have a good day, and we'll see you next week, or maybe sometime this week, to see what happened.